Greater light. I am here. I am live. And let me get this party started right. Uh, Parting from this world of flesh and wickedness. Huh? My mind is God's mind. I'm always reflecting divine wisdom and divine intelligence. My brain symbolizes the capacity to think wisely and spiritually. God's ideas unfold within my mind in perfect sequence. I'm always poised, balanced, serene, and calm because I know God has provided the perfect solution, not no saline solution, none of these solutions that they could intravenously stick up in me, none of the vaccinations, the perfect solution before the foundations of my mother's grandmother's mother's womb. Before the foundations of all this man made stuff, God provided the perfect solution to every single one of my needs. You can say amen. I say, God, you promised. God is going to keep his promise. God is going to keep his promise. Says to me, I don't know about you, and it's already unveiling. It's already happening. It's happening as we speak. It's happening as I speak. It's happening as you think. It's happening as you move. God is keeping his promises to me that everything that I went through, that I stood there and I took it for 33 years, that the whole system would crumble in my face, in my time, not in no 3,000 years from now, written down in history right now where I can see it live in my face, Huh? Vengeance is mine, said the Lord. He said, I got it for you, dear Abby. He said, Abigail, the joy of your father. You don't have to worry about it, huh? You don't have to worry about them clearing your name, and making the paperwork right. I'm going to show you who you are daughter of, huh? God is keeping his promises to me that I can see it before I close my eyes. I don't care what my body doing right now. My body doing all kind of crazy things, but God's keeping his promises to me. I don't know about you, huh? Greater light.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I'm so glad to tell. Hallelujah. Hallelujah, with my soul as well. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Raise, see the word. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Raise, see the word.
The word. Raise, see the living word. Raise, see the living word. Raise the word.
The light of the world. Yowelu, who's that? The light of the world. He said,
I am
all that.
All that.
Yowelu, who's that? The light of the world. He said, I am all that. Yowelu, 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 Yowelu.
Raise
the word. Yowelu, 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 Yowelu.
Raise ye the word. Raise ye the living word. Raise the living word.
Raise the word. Yahweh, light, Yah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Raise, see the word. Yahweh.
Greater light. Look, I have a, it's not really, well, yeah, still testimony service. My family got was able to get gather together with my grandmother and like help, kind of refresh, seasonal cleaning and get rid of some things, some old things. And um a lot of the times what we'll do is between the grands, the great grands and the great great grands, uh split it between each other. Like we want to hold on to those memories and not really donate it to Goodwill and stuff like that. So so when the bags got here where I'm at, the one thing in there, it was only one thing, one, well, maybe two or three things. One was a robe that she used to wear, and how y'all have heard me always talk about that of when we lived across the street from the graveyard. So that was in the 80s. But between the 70s and the early 80s, she had a she made clothes. She had her sewing machine. She taught me how to sew early and all that. And she had this one dress that was one of my favorites. She had there was about three of them. That was one of my favorite dresses to see her in. And my first memory of that dress, we were in living on the Dixie, and it was my first time noticing the mole on her shoulder. So my grandmother has this the raised moles. She has one under her nose, about the size of a small gumdrop. And then she has one on her shoulders. And it was really my first time noticing this mole. So I start, because the way she made the dress, it's a sundress, and then it just tied on one shoulder. So it was a one shoulder dress that she made. And I'm putting my finger trying to touch the mole. And she's like, it's going to eat you. It's going to eat you. So that was my first memory of that dress. So when I opened the bag and this dress is right there, like, it took me back down memory lane. But the main thing is that my grandmother made that dress, and the quality of the dress is still like, you can pull them strict, the way she sewed it, it ain't coming apart. It ain't coming apart. But now, as much as I have a memory of that dress, I thought about my daughter and the way my daughter is fashion savvy and all that. So I was like, you know what? My granddaughter was immediately in the bag. She was like, oh, I want this right here, right here. So this is great, great grand. She's not great, great, great grand, like saying, ooh, this is Grammys. Ooh, this is Grammys. So I tell my daughter, and she's like, I don't know. And then when she gets it, she sees the dress. She was like, oh my gosh, this is beautiful. My grandmother handmade that dress on her Singer sewing machine all them years, over 45 years ago. Over 45 years ago. And the quality of it is still able to pass down to her great grand, because I gave it to my daughter. And like I said, my great great grand can actually fit one of the robes that she had, a little winter robe and all. But so my great grandmother is still here. I mean, my grandmother is still here, but I was created before her womb and her mother's womb. But I'm appreciative of the memories on this plane and the things that she taught me and how she raised me. I told you, um, a lot of the verses and scriptures and stuff that we learned in the Bible. As a matter of fact, we started going to church because of my grandmother, not because of my mother. Now, my mother was raised in church and all that, and knew the Bible, but she, I guess, was taking a break. So my grandmother, when we started going to church, when we moved back to the States, she was the one taking us. After we stopped going to University Baptist Church van, University of Miami Baptist Church with the green and orange on it, the white van would come through the community to the undeserved or underserved and take us to their big temple there as part of their research and development or whatever funds that the government was giving them if they was doing stuff like that. And when my grandmother started going to church around the corner from where she was at Sweetfield Missionary, that little old church back there, she had us in everything. We was Sunday school secretaries, Sunday school superintendents. We had to learn whole chapters, not no. Uh, Let me see. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. You have other churches. You might have a child learn one or two. We had to learn the whole chapter and see in the multitudes. That's how my grandmother was, but it didn't feel. We enjoyed it. That's the whole thing. With my grandmother, it was a pleasure. And our little young matrons outfits, where we had the white skirts and the red jackets, we were in the young matrons. Uh, and we went when they had the um, uh, conferences, the Baptist conventions and Confederate meetings, or whatever you called them. We had to perform and do things and be right with our white gloves and our white skirts. She made those outfits for us. When the other girls in the churches, their parents was making sure they went and bought their little red jackets and their white skirts. My grandmother made ours, and ours looked just as good as theirs. My grandmother's still here. Anyways, so this is just one of those. Let me share. I'd like to share. I wanted to share. All right. So today, what I'm going to do is go over the Federal Register. I'm doing Federal Register scrolling. I haven't done that in a minute. And then I'm going to go to the Holy Tablets. I have a little time today because, again, my body doing that thing where this would be the time of the year I'm supposed to be needing a blood transfusion. I told y'all they're not experimenting on me no more. I'm not getting none of that. And I know how now to do certain things to get it back up. And if I can't back up, I guess I'll just be like, time to go. Huh? They've been sending all kind of emails. Come on to the doctor. We got a plan for you. Nah. Then y'all tell me ain't nothing wrong with me. They gave me all these different diagnoses. And then when it was time for that 5 years of me putting in disability, they said, took it all the way to Supreme Court and said, nah, you good. You don't get nothing. Because you won't shut up. I ain't letting them experiment on me. And no more. Whatever's going on, going on. But I got a little time before the grands get here. And I got my sewing machine ready. Some things to do in between time. In the meantime, as I sit back and watch God keeping his promises to me. He keep I still ain't heard nobody in the community, and I had well over 30 or 40 people come over and listen to that stream where I talked about Ashley Biden, and I ain't heard nobody pull that up in the community yet. Huh? That's it right there. They get that, they gonna want Nawapian Nation to shut up. They gonna want to be quiet and hush hush. If they put that Ashley Biden out there, they might even close Puff Daddy case. They put that Ashley Biden out there. I'm telling you, they literally, while I was doing that live right there, and they kept trying to cut through my stream, they wanted me to be quiet to the point they tried to take my mama out that night. You know, like in the movies, just for no reason, a car just crash into another car when it shouldn't have. When you look at it, like, how did that happen like that? Immediate, like, again, she said people keep looking at the car being like, how did she walk away? Because it was on her side. Because y'all don't run nothing here. Huh? And you are being held accountable for what y'all took me through with the lies against me and my son. Y'all, that you're being held accountable for that. And all this pedophilia stuff with y'all being held accountable for the trials against Dr. Malachi Z. York. And it ain't until it ain't nothing gonna stop it. It's gonna keep going the way that it's going. Prophecy has to be fulfilled. I'm enjoying sitting back. Yeah, I'm enjoying sitting back and watching the promises of God be kept. I'm enjoying it. For the wicked now, for the wicked, for the wicked. For the lies, the thieves, and the murderers. My grandmother, still here today, that was one of her favorite quotes. You lying to me? A lie is a thief, and a thief is a murderer. A liar is a thief, and a thief is a murderer. All right. Let me go over some of these Federal Register documents because I really, really, really want to read for the Holy Tablets. Really, 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 really. Okay, so what I decided to show today in the Federal Register scroll is not what's going on today. Remember, this year, in the finalization of everything, the end of the beginning, this will be the last leap year. This is the last leap year in history. Trump is the last president of the United States in history. This is be the last time that December will happen, will be 2 times. There'll be 2 months of December. This is the last time that January 1st is actually on January 2nd. This is the last time. Oh, yes. Because once Elon takes his position, everything that he has in place, daylight saving times, all the things that he knows and the information that they use to be able to control those who will be left behind and to integrate them into his monetary system and all the things that he has planned as Antichrist, everything that is written that is to come to pass. Whether you watched it in a movie, you don't believe in the Bibles, you don't believe in none of the scriptures, you don't believe in none of the manuscripts, but you've watched the movies. Yeah, it's once he steps foot in office on the 25th, and all that they did at Notre Dame and the One World Order, it begins on the 2nd of January, not the 1st. So here's some of the things that they got lined up just for the new year. Here's some of the things. Forgive us our debts is the first thing on the list for January 2nd, 2025. Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Huh? He wants to get rid of IRS, which some of the people who have been crying about IRS and taxes, the ones who act like they don't see what's going on, but they all they can see is numbers and money. Huh? I hear some of them speaking in the community too. They sound off. They sound lost. They sound, I don't know, but they want whatever Trump have to offer along with Elon, because it ain't Trump doing it. It's Elon controlling all of this. He putting down. He's like, look, Trump, this is what's gonna work. This is what's gonna work. This is gonna work. This is gonna work. They say the money that Biden been sending over to Zelensky. Zelensky was there at Notre Dame. He was sitting right there on the same row with Trump. They say 2 billion, so many amounts of billions of dollars is in the World Bank. It's in a bank account. They ain't been using the money for war. He been saving the money. Excuse me. He been saving the money. Uh-huh. The portals is Notre Dame. The the portals is Notre Dame. We know that Christmas, that date has been fake from the beginning. And there's nowhere in history that showed that Jesus was born on the 25th. Huh? If you want to know who Jesus is to be and ask me what the date is, I could give you a date. Huh? But we know the 25th ain't had nothing to do with Christ. We know that. But anyways, all the different frequencies and portals and radio waves and that they putting out there to try to put another sleep deprivation over the people. That's what all that's going on. They have all types of light shows coming up out of that Notre Dame. All type of light shows. Now, so this first document, Forgive Us Our Debts. You see how whatever went on with the supposed um, United Healthcare CEO, and the first thing on the list for 2025 coming out of November 29th is Debt Collection Practices Regulation F, Deceptive and Unfair Collection of Medical Debt. January 2nd, 2025, they supposed to be, I guess, coming together about it. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. That's the first thing on the list. Regulation F. They say you have inquiries about it. You could go to Consumer Finance government, and it's going to apply to everybody. It's going to apply to everybody. Right now, they just said that over 5 million American children will be without Medicaid. I saw that flash over in some news thing. I didn't click that because I don't believe that. What I think is going to happen is whatever type of insurance that the government is going to come up with and unveil under the Doggy Act with Elon Musk, because everyone under the CHIPS Act law is a patient of the United States. under research and development, and it is needed specifically for Starlink, Tesla. You have to the transition of everyone being classified as a patient of the United States is the reason why all this medical stuff is going on in the news. In order for Elon not to need permission for half of the stuff that he has up his sleeves, transference of light energy, um, purchasing your light code, um, all the developments that he have with Neuralink, integrating particular beings with the artificial intelligence programs, beta testing you through these artificial intelligence programs that they're unveiling. You have to be considered a patient of the United States of America. Now, they did the waiver last year. I talked about that. I kept telling people about it. I kept showing everyone. I said, there's a waiver going out. And I don't know what it is that you click and sign. I don't know if it's when you transition to your real ID, because I stopped talking about it. I just stopped talking about it. I said, you know what? It's, you know, but whatever it is that you click and sign at one point, that you sign the waiver accepting that you are a patient of the United States. I don't know if it's connected to the real ID. How many of you have your real ID? You have your real ID? I don't know if it's connected to those who decided to vote. I don't know if it's connected to um, those who did, upgraded their visa, they're traveling for visas. I don't know if it has anything to do with when we clicked bank account information. I don't know how they weaseled that in there, weave and wove their way into. But I think the finalization of it is, if you want to know more about what I'm talking about, you could either go here in Federal Registered Documents, or you could go to um, whitehouse.gov and type in PCAS uh, a waiver, a transparency medical waiver. All right. All right. So what else they got going on for the 1st of January, which is actually the 2nd of January for the new year? The National Organic Program, Organic Livestock and Poultry Standards, delay of effective date and update with compliance. So now we're at USDA and agricultural marketing. And I told you, I went over different medical updates that they did with some of the foods. And a lot of people think that organic means healthy. When I went to the USDA, no, I'm going to tell you exactly which department. It was under USDA, but it shows how the food, when it's called a bio, bioorganic research through US Department of something. I'm not sure on that. I don't want to give the wrong information. I'll go back over it and see if I can find it and update you with it. So you have a lot of people thinking organic is the healthy alternative, but what they're slipping and sliding in there is that same document and proclamation that they would be feeding from the landmines. I mean, from the mines. Yeah, from the landmines. And you know what a landmine is. So biodegradable food from the landmines. And when the girl over there in California, when she said that, she kind of took a gulp. She didn't realize that was in her script. So they have this new bio-organic thing where anything old, they break down what's bio-organic. So they go from the trees, they show you trees, and then they show uh coal, and they show oil. They don't show the landmines, but anything that is based on, even the oil in the ocean, is bio-organic and usable for feed and cosmetics and all that. And it showed a combination of corn and oil and said, this is what we mean. And then it showed that coal is not organic, but oil is organic. I mean, the oil from out the depths, the fossil fuels and all that. But also on that list is landmine things. Anything that was created, let's say, okay, plastic bags that are biodegradable, and toilet paper and paper towels. So you go to the landmine and all these things that are biodegradable, that are able to be re whatever it will be placed in back into us for consuming. Not you as a consumer, okay, I get another new plastic bag or plastic bottle. Just what the young lady said, with President Biden sitting there, and the governor of California sitting there, when they were saying, we will be able to feed you from the landmines if needed, if possible. I'm just saying, I'm not making this up. You could go look this stuff up for yourself. So I just wanted to give you more knowledge about when we see things and it says organic, doesn't quite mean that it's healthy. CFR Part 205, published 88 FR 75394 on November 2nd, 2023, is delayed until January 12th, 2024. Compliance's date: all organic operations must comply with requirements of the OLPF final rule by January 2nd, 2025, except currently certified organic layer. See, there's layers of operations with the organic myth. And layer operations that are certified before January 2nd, 2025 must comply, and they give the numbers concerning outdoor stocking density requirements and soil and vegetation requirements by January 2nd, 2029. Currently certified organic broiler operations, there they go. It look like they about to heat things up. They go into the broilers. Broiler operations of January 2nd, 2029. Let's see, outdoor density. It amends that the USDA organic regulations related to the production of livestock, including poultry marketed as organic. The rule adds detailed regulations related to animal health care, indoor and outdoor space standards, manure management, temporary confinement of livestock, access to the outdoors, transportation conditions, and humane euthanasia and slaughtering. The rule clarifies aspects of existing USDA organic regulations that are not interpreted or enforced in consistent manner, meaning there are things that people have been labeling that they're organic doesn't mean that it was truly organic. And again, especially on the beef, they have put in um, regulations on increasing the estrogen that is placed in the meat, um, implants that go into the calves and particular um, beef, lamb, and goat products. And you can find that information right here. They've increased the estrogen levels, and then it's also other chemicals, a lot of other chemicals, but that right there to me was the one that stands out the most. And the reason why they increase the estrogen level in the beef, because it helps them grow faster. The rule clarifies aspects existing USDA regulations that are not interpreted or enforced in a consistent manner. In turn, the detailed regulations in the final rule will better assure consumers that organic livestock products meet the consistent standard as intended by the Organic Food Production Act of 1990. And then it goes on. So if you're interested in knowing more about your food, and here comes that pay as you go act. I told y'all that how important this is. This was in the CHIPS Act law. That pay as you go act is going to come into effect for people who can't afford what's going to go on with the government, with Elon Musk when he transfers every phone um, company under his Starlink. I don't know if anybody remember just recently where the people in North Carolina, when that anomaly of flooding happened, that was scripturally written when that storm was supposed to take out the woman who bore the son that the devil, y'all know, Revelations 13. I'm not going to go any more in detail. And when the storm passed over this area, and then when it flooded out in a type of way that just seemed way off, but they had already had it in the Federal Register. Anyways, he had told everybody that they would have the service, but then some people, when they clicked on the service, it had said something about the price was not what he said. It wasn't for free. And then the very next month it would be 400 something dollars or something like that. It was just something weird, nothing that I paid too much attention to because I already know the deal. But if you're gonna want internet service and phone service before the year is out next year, there is going to be no AT&T, and no, it's going to be under a Starlink, um, unless AT&T can afford to pay what Elon is going to require, or unless Verizon is going to be able to pay what Elon is going to require. So this pay as you go information here, they implemented this. You could go and you could type in the CHIPS Act law. It was placed in the CHIPS Act law. And I was like, what does this have to do with technology? Why is this pay as you go? And it went into full effect right around the time that they killed what's he call it? The guy who used to work with Elon. with Cash App. That's when Cash App made its total transition. But this was part of Chips Act law. So this final rule here about organic food is tied in to the Chips Act law. And they say pay as you go. What's next here? Presidential declaration of major disaster for public assistance only in the state of New Mexico. Correction. Now, it says here that November 1st, something happened in New Mexico that I don't remember hearing about, but obviously there was a severe storm and flooding. Or it happened when? Uh, November 15th, or it happened, it says it happened October 19th and October 20th. Whenever it happened, which I don't think it happened, I think it's something that's going to happen, and they're going to have, they already have for January 2nd, 2025, the money or loan and stuff that's going to need to be required to cover them through FEMA. Anybody know something about what happened in New Mexico? And 20, and I don't know, but here we go. And then they got another one, presidential declaration of major disaster. He issued it out on the 21st of November, and the application deadline is the 2nd of 2025. That seemed like the same time stuff went on with that big flood or whatever happened in North Carolina. They say, what you call it, had something going on too, New Mexico? Okay, I guess. Public water supervision, public water system supervision program revision for New York. They about to do something to your water up there, New York. New York. They say whatever you got to say about your water, you better go ahead and say it now before January 2nd. And the hours of inspection and U.S. Environmental Protection, that anytime you see EPA up there, they about to do something dirty. So whatever it is they about to do to your water, you better go and find out. Ain't no need of eating healthy and taking good pills and eating sea moss and all that good stuff if your water is infected. Mm, let's see. Just wait now, Mad Catter. You wait. The middle of January, they gonna be talking about it. Everybody's sick in New York, the water system and all that. And it's gonna be just like always. I may not be here. I don't know if I'm gonna be here. But I know that they gonna be like, oh, like it's something that happened, and if I'm here, I'll be coming back and saying, I told y'all everything they say they're gonna do to you is in Federal Register way in advance. If they're gonna poison the water system, if they're gonna blow up a bridge, if they're gonna sink a boat, if they're gonna make a boat miss from an airplane and that airplane crash, if the helicopters got cracked propellers and one needs to come down, it's all in the Federal Register because this is their holy tablets. This is their uh, scripture that they follow. And ain't no need of complaining about it after they have put it out there for you to have something to say about it. Everything that Elon is planning is in Federal Register. Everything that Trump, he done reneged on a lot of stuff. All I went through some of his stuff that he did in 2021 and remember all the things that he said and how whatever I believe, I truly, truly, truly somehow think when he had to go into surgery for the little snip on his ear, uh, if he actually did, and that wasn't an act, that they placed something around there. I wonder if they put him out. That Elon, because all of a sudden, how Elon, Trump, because Trump wasn't feeling Elon at all, and nothing that Elon had planned for years. His whole thing was NASA would have to come down. Huh? SpaceX will be no longer. He was more against Elon and what Elon had going on than he was against China. Then it was just like overnight. Huh? Yeah. Elon did some mesmerizing. He said, I'll buy you. Let me buy you. Hey, Trump ain't never been bought by nobody. He was doing all the buying. And he all being tricked out. Why you let Elon buy you? You said you grew up and your mother was a Christian. You should have been following the scripture to see how you done been tricked. Because based on the scripture, Trump, once he steps in office, he gonna take you out. That's what scriptures say. You don't have to believe nothing I say. You believe in scripture so much that you made that statement of beautiful Christians. You don't have to worry about a thing. We already know your rescue is coming. You won't even have to be here to vote. You don't have to worry about it. You believe in scripture that much that you would go ahead and let Antichrist take his position, knowing that the scriptures say what he do, he gonna take 3 of y'all out. I don't know which 3, but you was one of them. Hmm? Biden, we ain't forget about you and Ashley. We ain't forget about you and Ashley. Why was you taking showers with Ashley? We want to know. We want to know what's in Ashley's diary. I won't tell your secrets. uh, Self-regulated organizations, Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, Inc., notice of designation of longer period for commission action on proceedings to determine whether approve or disapprove proposed rule change to adopt the FINRA, the FIN and the RA, rule 6500 series securities lending and transparency engine. They turn in the money. The money is, I told you, money is a spirit. It is not the paper doll or the coin. And a lot of you know that already, but you don't even know what the spirit of money look like, huh? Do you have any idea what the spirit of money look like? Whatever it is, they for to make it transparent. Elon gonna make it transparent, and they put it on a clean slate for the left behind. Right here. You think the dollar notes that you have mean something? They putting it on a supra note. They put it supra note. They got people thinking, yeah, the dollar bill is still gonna be around 10, 15 years from now. Mm-mm. It's gonna be like all of a sudden be like, look, we know we said we was gonna redo the $5 bill and the $10 bill, and we not taking. See, they got the thing out now. They got people thinking that yes, the dollar bill is not going out of circulation, but we're not taking torn up money. We're not taking money if it's like if it's a tear in the on the side. If it's go look it up. You don't have to believe nothing I say. If the money is raggedy, they don't want it. It's not you can't the machines are not going to take it and the cashier is told not to take it. Now where all the raggedy money mainly be? Where all the raggedy Publix them already to transition over. They already done did their transition over and at half of the transition. Because they had it one day and say we not taking no cash, we can't take EBT, we can't take debit cards. It has to be credit. They kept announcing it too. They kept announcing it. They kept announcing that something was gonna happen where one day they was gonna be shut down or whatever. And then when it happened, that was them doing a system transition. It's not complete, but that was just the beginning of it. But you just wait. We can't take money if it's too old, if it's crumpled up in any denomination now. So when you go into the Arab stores and they say, nope, we can't take it. You can't take my $10 bill. Oh, cause see, it's ripped on the side. We can't take it. That's just the beginning of it. That's just the test. That's the beta test part. And the beta test part is mainly for only particular targeted areas. Okay. You don't have to believe me. It's written. It's in the Federal Register documents. As a matter of fact, what is it called? What is it called that they doing? You have to look it up. I forgot the name of it. I went over it, but they not taking raggedy money. That's starting January 2nd, 2025. They're not taking raggedy money. It has to be in mint condition. So let's see what Security Exchange they talking about over here. FINRA. FINRA. They ain't going into detail. I'd have to click extra links about the citation and the monetary system. I'm not doing all that. This is just a scroll. Take a little stroll through the scrolls. National Drinking Water Advisory. Oh, so it's not just about New York. January 2nd. They already started, they had a thing about Trump's bottled water, right? And somebody made a remark when I was doing a little thing about Trump's bottled water so many years ago, and probably why it wasn't successful. But if anybody remembered, when he started rerunning this year, well, the last year or whatever time, he was saying how at the end of it all, y'all gonna need his water, huh? He said because all the things that Biden them is done with the water, but with his water, they was like, your water ain't no good. It ain't even in a glass bottle. But don't y'all know they had a big recall of most of those expensive glass bottle waters recently? And I said, oh, so the high price glass bottle water is being recalled. Wonder what Walmart, the head honcho, Walmart them was over there at Notre Dame. What they doing today? Fecal matter water. one of my relatives by law, through my sister, when we used to work together when I was living in Boston, when I was in the warehouse giving them a hard time. I used to be on the line with all this stuff right here, talking about this stuff. And I'd be like, we drinking this water. It ain't no different than the tap water if we drinking it from Walmart. It's fecal matter. It still got fecal matter. And I kept saying it. I said, give me a bottle of that fecal matter water. And she got so mad at me. I think she wanted me off the line that day. She wanted me off the line. She wanted me off the line. I wonder where Mystique at right now. She wanted me off the line. She wanted, what are you get saying, fickle matter? So here we are. Here we are. Look, they got. I come on down here for January 2nd, 2025, and they got something going on for the whole national Eastern time, distributed to all members of council. Oh, they need your written statements. This a council meeting. Y'all know when y'all know who Jean is. Oh, you don't know who I call Jean? The secretary for Biden up there at the White House, the one who looked like a porcelain doll. You know, the one who she married to a woman. Her. Y'all know the Haitian lady. Okay, well, Jean, every time she don't want to answer something or she can't get the right answer out, she said, y'all gonna have to ask the council. You're gonna have to refer to the council for that. Well, the council got something to do with this dirty water they about to. Let's see. Let me click if they go into details. They say, oh, the Safe Drinking Water Act, and it's gonna go into effect right when Trump gonna be able to say, oh, y'all water messed up. Well, here. I hope he don't be dirty to the people. Because y'all know what I do know, Trump is a person I believe that like to keep his promises. And do you remember right before they kept talking about taking him to court and what they was doing, he said, if y'all go through with this, it's gonna be World War VI. He didn't say if y'all go through with this and then I'm exonerated from it or I don't make it to president. He said if y'all go through with this, it's gonna be World War VI. So maybe he keeping his promises. That's why he reneged, especially after the second attempt on his life. He said, and it's my own. They'll try to make America great again, and it's my own. His heart grew cold. But I hope he don't do the people dirty when it comes to the water. And be like, you need water? Let me look on a list and see if you voted for me. Oh, you voted for Biden and Harris? Oh, it was okay that you didn't vote. You didn't vote because of your religious beliefs? Okay, you a Christian. That's why you didn't vote? Okay, all right. Oh, you say you're a Christian, but you voted, so I know you ain't no Christian. You voted who you voted for? Oh, you voted for what you call it? Okay, you go get your water for them. You go get your water from them. Or he upped the price. He upped the price. Because it's going to be something that goes on that say, you know, you ain't going to be able to buy or sell or a loaf of bread. That's in the Bible. It say back then, when was the Bible written? Back then, it determined that in the future days, these days, all the years of inflation and taxation, the Bible back then stated that a loaf of bread would be about $20 in these last and final days. Are we almost there? So if you don't want to believe nothing else in the scripture say, I don't believe nothing that the Bible say. But when it finally get to you got to go and a loaf of bread is $20, you could go to refer to the scripture and be like, oh my God, that's real. That's real. Huh? I implore anybody who don't believe in scripture, right to the moment when you go to the store and a loaf of bread is just about $20, that you finally believe in the scripture, okay? You finally believe in the word. I leaned back in my chair. I almost leaned back too far. All right, next. What's next on this scroll? What's next? What's next in this scroll? The systems of record, Social Security. Oh, yep. Ain't they trying to get rid of Social Security or something? Soaring. I know a lot of people gonna be mad. Are they gonna raise up? What they gonna do? uh, what they gonna do now? Drawbridge operation. Now here's where something. Look, bridge May 31st, 2024 through May 15 until January 2nd, 2025. The bridge will perform double leaf openings with 3-hour advance notice. The last time they did this, something happened to a bridge. That bridge in what do you call it? What was the name of the bridge named after one of them slave owners? Here, let me see. This is happening where? Which bridge? Sloop Channel, Nassau County, New York. The bridge is currently operating under single leaf operations conducted bridge rehabilitation until May 15, 2024. The bridge cannot comply with current operation. High water, vertical clearance. The bridge is currently operating. My apologies. I should put on some music while I'm doing this. I'm scanning through real quick. Yep. This is under their what you call it? Their recon infrastructure plan. This is one that got funded for a infrastructure through Biden Harris when they was throwing out all them funds on the reconstruction of the infrastructure. So something about to happen to this bridge right here. Don't believe me? You could check it out. You probably could go type in, look under the infrastructure plan. You could go to whitehouse.gov and see the whole layout, all that money that they invested, unless what's his name put a stop to it and pull back a lot of the funds out of that 500 billion that they did in demolishing and then reconstructed, demolishing and reconstruction, because that's what the infrastructure plan is, to flood out particular areas that need to be reconstructed, flood, blow, have certain bridges destroyed that needed to be reconstructed. All of that was part of their infrastructure plan, and that was over 500 billion. So unless what's his name change it or put a stop to it, this bridge is going to go down. You don't have to believe me. Everything I'm saying could be verified. And I scan through because I already know what it looks like when it happens. I told you I've been doing this now for how far back when I started talking about the CHIPS Act law. That's how long it's been. I've started off in Congress, going to Congress on a weekly basis and looking at daily, almost daily. And that's and then I started going to White House. No, first I started off going to whitehouse.gov and reading their scripts that they would put out. Then I started going to Congress and then connecting what was going on at whitehouse.gov to see if it was real laws being implemented in Congress. And then I transitioned from Congress into Federal Register. And when I realized that they call the Federal Register their tablets, and the Federal Register is the place where before the law even takes effect or before the laws become rules, this is where they place the information. That's what made me stay stuck over here at the Federal Register documents. There's that steal. There's the steal again. That word steal keeps coming up. Wale brought it up over on one of the streams earlier today. And let's see, China and steel. So China and steel. Garment hangers from China. We still wear, so they doing the mommy dearest on people. They doing the mommy dearest on people because no wire hangers. We can't get nothing from China but wire hangers because they sure stop their sugar import and all they sending over is they liquid sugar that probably got all types of chemicals in it. But they gonna send us they wire hangers, huh? Y'all know that's a scheme. No wire hangers. Anybody know what I'm talking about? That's the movie Mommy Dearest. Mommy Dearest. Mommy Dearest. Steel wire garment hangers from China. She went off. She went in her daughter's closet and seen them hangers. She started beating her with the hangers. She said, "Did I tell you? We are uppity. We are rich. We are wealthy. It is beneath us where these wire hangers going to the hood. No wire hangers." My bad. I need to get over and start reading the holy tablets. I need to get over and start reading the holy tablets. Look at that. Look at that. What this mean? Whatever it is about these wire hangers coming over from Mommy Dearest, Our Lady of the International Trade Commission. When they didn't Trump say it was going to be all that extra trading with China, he said an eye for an eye, tariff for tariff. We not gonna do it now. Oh, you see, that's why I say that's Elon, Antichrist, doing all this. No wire hangers. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! What did it say here? Commerce, 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 all through commerce. He said, eye for eye, tariff for tariff. You done renege Trump. Oh, this is Biden doing. Trump ain't did this yet. This is Biden. So Biden say, well, we gonna poke people eyes out with the wire hangers. I just realized I'm reading all this. But then the fact that Trump was over there at Notre Dame when they was opening up the portal for the reset, and Biden was nowhere to be found. But Jill and Ashley was there. I don't know. It might be mm they got let's see what else going on here. The matching program. South Carolina, public assistance only for the state of South Carolina. A major disaster that happened October 6th. Private nonprofit counties of Berkeley. Is this where the bridge? When they took it to the bridge? Huh? When they took it to the bridge, let's see. For private nonprofit organization in the state of South Carolina, physical damage as a result of this disaster to January, the deadline for filing. Major disaster declaration for the Gullah Geechee, but they don't have their name entitled in here. All they have is for the private nonprofit organization. Because I know that this is what they're referring to. I could look at the date, I could look at the state, and tell you that's what they're referring to. Now they have here incident report for September 25th through October 7th. But the only reason why it would be these extended dates, oh, the incident Hurricane Helene. Well, how come only private nonprofit organizations are getting paid? So this isn't about the bridge. Private nonprofit organization in the state of South Carolina, dated October 6th, 2024. Let me type in something. Let me check something. Just one moment. Just one moment. Just one moment. Okay, that happened the 19th. That happened the 19th of October. And I know the celebration is usually on the 6th. So private nonprofit organizations. Escobar in charge of it, huh? Mm-mm-mm. Okay, let me get out of that. Insecticides, Fungicide Acts, January 2nd, 2025. Wait, I think my meat and set in that. Hold up. One. Yeah, I done been on here a good bit because I gotta cook. I got a meal I'm cooking for my daughter, for my family, before they, so she don't have to cook tonight. All right. Let me get out of here. Yeah, I'm done over here. I'm done with this Federal Register stuff right now because it's taking me, making me want to go further into what I'm reading than I want to. So here, this is pesticides, which I've gone over a lot of that, but whatever they planning for the second confidential business. Let's see. Biological diversity, marines and fishery, rodent fungicide act. Enough of that. Enough of that. There's a lot more in here that I could sit here and play with and laugh at, and then some of it take seriously. Change in bank control notices. That is they need to have it in no later than the 2nd of January, which is their new year. Change in bank control notices. Let's see, Federal Reserve, change in bank control notices. The Board of Governors, bank or bank holding companies. Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago. Greenwood State Bank, both Lake Mills, Wisconsin. That's why Wisconsin, they targeting Wisconsin right now. Okay. What else? Submission, Securities Exchange and Commission, comment requests, Office of Management Budget, that's OMB. Um, Treasury Department. Here is where everything coming into the money. FEMA tribal declarations interim. The FEMA tribal declarations need to be in by the 2nd. The tribal pilot guidance, tribal declarations. Let's see what they talking about under the tribal declarations. In 2022, FEMA published the 2022. I remember going over this, and went in the list and I said, I don't see particular tribes nowhere in here. The only tribe that I saw that was in there was Gullah Geechee when it comes to the particular native tribes, and anybody over here with me know what I'm referencing. And I didn't see the nowhere on the list. And then I went over to what's his name? What's his name? Bus Life, Kwame. I went over to Kwame Brown chat, and I was like, "Ain't you Gullah Gullah? Why y'all ain't telling other tribes that they need to put in?" And he said something in response. I know he was responding to me because I was the only one, and I was like, "Y'all, all y'all doing is reestablishing plantations in South Carolina. Y'all ain't letting nobody else know how to do the work." And he said, "That's right. We want plantations." He said, "Gullah Gullah, we want plantations in South Carolina. We want plantations all over if we could get it. And we want plantations on Mars too." He sure did. He said, "We want plantations on Mars too." I sure got out the chat. I sure got out the chat on that one. But nation to nation manner with tribal nations across the country through extensive consultations and listening sessions to identify solutions to alleviate barriers faced by tribal nations when seeking federal assistance through disaster declarations. So this is just specifically for disasters and those who are already considered through 2022. I don't know of any real tribe that want to be considered anything under their federal program and what they're about to do. Hmm? I don't. But hey, uh, Excess Risk Treasury Department, FEMA Tribal Interim, Educational, and a lot more. I'm done. I'm out of here on that. Let's get on over to the Holy Tablets. Let's get on over here. Close out Slatem. I had that open up to see what they meant by slate. Here we go. And I'm going to start off at the ego. I'm going to start off at the ego. I'm starting off at the ego. As a matter of fact, I'll start at the top of this page. And many other qualities. Should I do it like that? You don't want me to do it like that. Don't do it like that, Grandma. What many other qualities? What many other qualities? That make me have to go back some more. I wanted to start on ego, but I see the word car since somebody was talking about car earlier today. So let's just go to the Edo site. The mortal man, huh? Start off there. Lo, all of you children of Nuabu, uh, who have embarked upon the name of Nuabian. I'm hearing an echo. That's why I'm laughing. I'm here. I don't know where this echo coming in my place right now, but I'm hearing an echo. I, your master teacher, who you know as Naya Malachi Zadok York L, have been sent to you to break the spell. I am about to impart your mind the mechanics of what you call the master organ, or simply the brain, which works with the mind. This a master organ, this the master, not the massa. I am about to impart upon your mind the mechanics of what you call the master organ, or simply the brain, which works with the mind. Know that your mind was a special gift given to you by your ancestors, whom I call your descendants, for they came down to you from above. They are called Anunnaki, who are the Elohim, and Al Malaikat, the angelic beings, the ruler of which is Al Maluk El Ul Muluk, who is Anu, called El Elo, or Eloi, or Anu, Allah, or Yahweh, or Theos, or God to many, all within El Kalum. The all. Within the confines of these pages, you shall embark upon the knowledge of the mind, in which is working with the brain and the nervous system, three out of your whole body and being. The brain is one of the most intricate of organs within itself, and it was created by El Eloi, the Most High. This knowledge, which I am giving to you, has never before been taught to you by any. Remember, my dear Nuabian, with right knowledge, you can receive right wisdom and a right understanding of all. This is the science of your way of life. Nuaubu, which is the Milah of the Anunnaki and Elohim. Let me begin by giving you the nature of Humim, or Yumim, who is the mortal man, the human being, known as the Enocytes. The children of Enos, the son of Seth, who is called in tones Sheth, and in the rhythm Shaith, and his wife Akilimia or Maya. I like Maya. O ye children of Enos, know that ye all have fell from being to supreme being, to human being, to human, to man, to mortal, to mammal. Don't fall any further, my children. Study this small scroll. When the Enosites searches for happiness, they invariably turn to external objects and events for satisfaction. They merely think, if I could just have that car, or if I were just able to get that job, or if I only lived here or there, then I would be happy. They have no perception of the fact that the mind may be still and at peace for a short time on attaining the desired object, but eventually the mind becomes tired of its newly made toy and seeks treasure elsewhere, still in search of happiness. However, know this, my child, each time the external objects fail to bring happiness, the Enosite may acquire new material possessions, a position with more responsibility, money, a new dream home, being locked in person, place, and things. However, my child, there always remains the same mind. However, your mind is an elusive animal to tame. Many theories exist as to how it works, yet the human process seems to remain intangible. Why does one so often find him or herself caught in the same frustration and the same problems? It is said that this is a free society, but in truth, it is each Innosite's own desires and emotions that blind the Innosite. Consider this Innosite. A person who smokes cigarettes daily, claiming they are determined to stop tomorrow. How many years has the Innosite been caught in this parade? The Innosite truly wants to be free of the habit, but she lacks the necessary control of his or her own mind. And since the mind is like a record or laser disc, it contains grooves or impressions. These, and Elon them knows that. Mm, ready to tamper with the brain, and everybody's saying, come on, Elon, you could take that position when he shouldn't even be taking that position there. It contains grooves or impressions. These impressions are formed when certain thought ways become habitual. The benevolent example would be if an Innosite passes a bakery and sees a chocolate cake in the window. How delicious, the Innosite says. I will buy that cake. If he or she ignores that thought wave and turns his or her mind to something else, then no pattern is formed. However, if he or she identifies with the thought, the Innosite gives life to it. The Innosite buys the cake. Listen. Let me repeat that part. God is going to keep his promises to me. However, if he or she identifies with the thought, the Innosite gives life to it. The Innosite buys the cake, looking forward to enjoying it as dessert for that evening. Now, suppose the Innosite finds he or she must pass the same bakery every Wednesday and Friday. Each time the Innosite goes by, he or she recalls the wonderful cake again, and he or she purchases another. Now, ponder this. What was originally just a flash in the mind has become a force in his or her life. Grooves in the mind are not necessarily negative. There can be grooves in the mind which are uplifting, and then there are those that brings one down. There must be a striving to develop love, compassion, a sense of service, cheerfulness, kindness, and many other qualities, which not only makes one's life happy, but which radiates to others. Everyone wants to be his or her best. Each person would like to think that he or she is perfect, yet, despite these repeated resolutions, every person finds out so many times that he or she is less than what he or she would like to be. The cause of this predicament is the ego or the Anki, which is in Aramaic Hebrew or Al-Tat in Syriac Arabic and ego in Greek, and as we say in Nuwabic, the ego, my child, is the cause of all bondage, and it is the chief barrier to the experience of reality. Now, here, let me give a check for those who automatically, instantaneously, always think that ego has to do with a person who is highly confident in who they are and what they stand for, but never look at the other side of ego as above, so below. A person who is constantly in a depression or a state of negativity, that is also a form of egotistical variance, an egotistical variance. That's just for those who always, anyways, you got to know the movie, but you never watched it. I just came over to look over and see, the movie. Which movie was I talking about? I can't remember. They got their hooks in deep. Tablet 9, the ego. 19 times 1 equals 19. Lo, Nuwapians. One of the schools which I, your master teacher, known as the Reformer, Al Mujadid, Al Muklus, or Mukhlus, Yalwin, Rabboni, Al Imam, and Melchizedek. I have many names for the many cloaks I wear. I must take you through is the school of ego. Know ye that this is one of the hardest attribute to destroy. This is the attribute that is carried out mostly by evil reptilian one, Samuel, also known as Zuen or the devil. He who is the son of Shachar and Melita. Reject him and his attributes, and let him or his followers not into your hearts, for he and they will only lead you through the doors of misery. However, through the teachings of the ancient mystic order of Melchizedek, also known as Amom, you can learn how to burn out the ego. Through the journey of this holy tablet, I will impart upon your minds the works of the ego. The ego is self-arrogating aspect of the mind. The ego is the greatest obstacle to obtaining peace, for it is that which occupies the mind with whether we are better or worse, possess more or less, or have greater or lesser power than others. The ego is attended by desire, pride, anger, delusion, greed, jealousy, lust, hatred, racism, and leadership. The ego is the most difficult aspect of the mind to control, for its nature is such that it deludes even while one is striving to overcome it. When the ego is subdued, energies can then be utilized constructively for personal growth and the service of others. Tablet 10, the power of thought. 19 times 3 equals 57. All of ye inner sights projects some kind of vibration to those around thee. Some are a pleasure to be with. They seem to have a certain energy that they share with others. Then there are those who are absorbed by the negative and the depressed. And they seem to actually draw energy out of people in their environment. The reason for this, my child, is because there is a power contained in thought. Know ye that it is very subtle, yet it does exist and is extremely powerful. Whether a person is aware of it or not, the inner sight is constantly transmitting and receiving thoughts. This, my child, is why people have experiences of what you call ESP or extrasensory perception from time to time. Some wish to call these experiences coincidence, but they are not. Every thought has weight, shape, size, form, color, quality, and power. For example, a spiritual thought has a blue color. When you combine yellow and blue, you get green, the green light. While yet a thought charged with anger and hatred bears the color red. A thought is like an object. Just as an apple can give you a friend, wait, just as an apple can be given to your friend or taken back, so also it is possible to give a useful power thought to someone and take it back. There is a power or energy into which each person can tap if the inner sight only knows it is available to them. This force inspires, encourages, reinforces, and it gives strength to all those who seek to grow in a positive direction. Many inner sights, however, are unaware of this resource, or they have misconceptions about it. They are like the farmer who moved to a house in the city and lived in darkness because he or she did not know what those strange sockets in the walls were. The light is there and available to all. John 1:5 states, the light shineth in the darkness, but the darkness comprehendeth it not. And I have that right in front of me on my wall. John 1:5. This is the message we have heard from him and declare to you: God is light, and in him there is no darkness at all. 1 Peter 2:9. But you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession, that you may declare the praises of him who called you out of darkness into the wonderful light. You are the children of the light and day, and we do not belong to night or the darkness. First Thessalonians 5:5. We need only to connect ourselves with the current and become a child of light. That literally means that the light force shines in the darkness, and the darkness has never been able to put it out or comprehend it. And again, El's Holy Garun, the 57th chapter, the 28th verse, originally 94:28, in part says, he will provide for you a light by which ye shall walk straight in your path. And also in Daniel's first degree, the 22nd verse, which was given to our prophet Daniel, the son of Jarrah, and Geber or Jeber or Gibber, where it says, he reveals deep the secret things. He know what is in the darkness, and the light dwells with him. The law of fate, Gadur. The law of fate, my child, there is a law in physics that states for every action there is an equal opposite reaction. To express it popularly, it is said that what goes around comes around. It's what goes around comes around. It comes around. Who's that? What year was that? When that came out? Just I mean the words and the quote was always there, but that version of the song, Yahshua ha Mashika Ma Mashiach, whom ye Christians call Jesus, and ye Mahumadan called Isa, who is known spiritually as Sananda taught. These are all expressions of the law of fate, of cause and effect. Whatever you thought or deed comes from a person who will be returned to the Enocyte. It may not come in the same form, but sooner or later, each person will confront the result of his or her own actions. These reactions are not always experienced immediately. Sometimes inner reactions are not easily learned, and negative patterns may be concentrated for years or concentrated for many years. A single lifetime, my child, may not be sufficient for one to obtain perfection. Some people create a hell for themselves. This is why some people may have it hard and others have it easy. Only healthy and another is crippled. One healthy and another is crippled. One is cheerful and another is depressed. One is extroverted and the other is introverted. One successful and the other unsuccessful. It is neither cruel fate nor or distant, not a distant or unconcerned fate that set the stage for these situations. By one's own fate, you, as revealed to our servant Ahmad, who is called in tones Ahmad and in rhythm Muhammad, who is the son of Abdullah and Amina. Amina in my mind always when I hear Amina goes to my daughter Wilhelmina, a griffin. It is he who received El's Quran from the Anunnaki Aluhum Nusku, and he who bears the title Gabriel, and the son Raziel and Zamael, where it states the original order and 92nd chapter and 79th verse in part, and Enocyte's life is his or her own responsibility. Tablet 11, health and relaxation. 19 times 3 equals 38. Lo, O my children, what I must impart upon your minds is the importance of a healthy mind, body, and soul, and proper relaxation. Remember, my children, the very words healthy and health begins with the word heal. To heal oneself is step one. To heal one's mind will heal one's whole body. And relaxation is simply to learn to relax. What ye must always remember is by taking proper care of your physical body, you are protecting your inner spirit. And by poisoning your physical body, be it through drugs, alcohol, cigarettes, junk food, sugars, or salts, and I could go on, you are doing serious harm to your spirit, and it becomes weaker and weaker. Through the teachings of the ancient and mystic order of Melchizedek, MUM, and I could do the acronyms to say AMOM, but I like saying AMOM. You will be taught on how to nourish your body as well as your soul. Know ye that proper exercise, proper breathing, proper relaxation, proper diet, and intake of much water and positive thinking are the requisite attendant to lead to healthy, dynamic, and effective existence. Proper relaxation is needed to maintain mental, spiritual, and physical health. Many of you think that relaxation involves leaving home for some exotic place where the mind and body are ceaselessly pumped with stimulants and depressants. A full range of other damaging delights. True relaxation comes from removing the stimuli, visual, edible, and otherwise, and tuning into the inner awareness. Like any piece of sturdy machinery, inner sight's physical and mental bodies can take quite a bit of abuse before giving any signs of protest. Unfortunately, in Western thinking, it has become a practice to ignore the basic rules of health and the concept to think that a pill here or there will relieve symptoms while actually bring about well-being, and quite the opposite is true. Pain in the body is a warning, like a red light on the instrument of the panel of a car. Taking this or that compound of chemicals to remove the symptoms is the same as taking a hammer and breaking the red light. It does nothing to solve the problem, and in fact, it makes it worse. While only giving the appearance of helping, the chemicals ingested are not useful to the body and cannot be eliminated, and therefore merely stored. The medicines accumulated along with food and additives often are eaten in such abundance, on an average of 25 pounds per person per year. The combination in which each other the combination with each other to literally poison the system. The effects may not be felt for many years. This does not mean that there is no need for modern medicine, yet the herb of your own choice is much better. But often, doctors are considered to have some form of absolute knowledge. Too often, frequent visits to the local GP or general practitioners, specialists, or psychologists are substituted for living a healthy life. Most of the diseases of the mind and body can be eliminated by following the five basic points. I'm checking my time. Tablet 12, diet, 19 times 5 equals 95. Lo, thou should ponder on taking proper diet for thyself, which ye can also learn through the teachings of the ancient mystic order of Melchizedek or Melchizedek. Improper diet is another hindrance to the spiritual progress. All foods have distinct energies, just as the physical body is formed from the gross physical proportions of the foods that are eaten. So the mind is formed from the more subtle proportions. If the food is impure, the mind also becomes impure. Cigarettes, liquor, narcotics, and fast foods, and too much meat are most detrimental. In fact, meat at all. Meals should be simple, light, and nutritious. Seafood, my child, is healthy, however, not in excess. Most people eat far more than necessary, merely out of habit or for sense of gratification. An immoderate diet is the cause of great majority of disease, which are encountered in modern society. The mind is always looking for an excuse to avoid discipline. You must always listen to the inner voice of yourself. There are two sides to you: 180 degrees of the agreeable and 180 degrees of disagreeable. 1% is all that is needed to shift your emotion. 181 to the left, the path of disagreeable action, or very agreeable. You are in control. Listen to the voice of the agreeable things rather than to the complaints of the disagreeable mind. What goes into the human body correlates directly to the efficiency with which the brain functions. Recent studies show that certain red food coloring creates hyperactivity in children, and the refined sugar can cause emotional instability, and this is what most start their children on. These are just two examples of the substance that is heedlessly consumed without understanding the effect on the mind and the body, or the body and the mind, each of which have two parts. The body is one, voluntary, two, involuntary, that which you control and that which takes control of itself. The mind, one good and two evil, which also try to take control. Many intakes are bad, although not categorized as harmful foods. These substances should be strictly avoided: marijuana, cigarettes, alcohol, drugs. There is a growing awareness that our health is directly affected by what we eat. Almost any disease can be cured by either change in diet or a short period of fasting, and with no medication at all. This is not only true of physical disorders, but of many mental difficulties as well. It is particularly important that pregnant mothers have this awareness. Far too often, they do not realize the effect of their diet on the developing fetus. Contrary to popular concept, it is not vegetarians who do not get enough protein, but rather heavy meat eaters who take in excessive protein. Animal protein contains a high concentration of uric acid, which is a nitrogen compound similar to ammonia. It is not water soluble and it cannot be broken down by the liver. Thus, through a certain amount of it, those no, thus, though a certain amount is eliminated, the greater proportion of uric acid is deposited into the joints. And the results, this is referred to as arthritis. Hardening of the arteries and heart disease are two of the most common maladies of the Western world, where the greatest amount of meat is consumed. The culprit, my child, is cholesterol, which also cannot be eliminated by the body. This forms fatty deposits along the walls of the heart and arteries, and this gradually thickening until they are clogged and inflexible. The major source of cholesterol comes from hundreds of pounds of animal tissue and its fats that each person consumes each year. Heart disease, hardening of the arteries, and arthritis are common infirmities. However, the one that strikes most fear in the hearts of Westerners is cancer. Many substances have been found to create cancer in animals. However, results always seem to indicate that the amount consumed by the average person is insufficient to create cancer. What is not revealed is that the accumulation of these poisons over a period of years does create cancer. The substances have innumerable chemicals that are injected into animals. These increase weight these increase weight to yield more dollars per animal. Nitrates, food coloring, artificial hormones, and even arsenic are amongst the chemicals contained in the animal flesh the time it goes into on to the supermarket shelf. These plus many other additives consumed by members of the industrialized society collect in the body and they are stored in the tissue. Cancers occur when the cells react to these excessive toxins in a sense, mutating into cells which reproduce uncontrollably. So much for the horrors of the meat industry. There are several other interesting physical and spiritual reasons for not eating meat. One is it takes 4 times as much grain to feed animals, therefore, insight to consume it directly. The raises for moral question in regard to sharing our resources with poor people. The plants are original source of energy for all living things, as they are stored as they store the energy for shamash, the sun, through photosynthesis. A person who does not eat a lot of meat not only taxes nourishment from the original source, but their diet is more economical with regards to cost and its best utilization for of available land. Seafood is very good for you, but it too can be taken in excess. Another more interesting fact is that an enocyte's digestive system is not one of carnivore. His or her teeth are designed through mutation for biting and mashing original vegetables. But after so much mixing now, many Nuwapians have canine teeth for tearing flesh, which is why the enocyte ages, tenderizes, and cooks his or her meat to make it more edible. Diet also alters the person's very appearance from human to animal, as well as his or her nature. Eaters are much more violent. The human liver is proportionally smaller than that of a meat eating animal, and it is not built to handle the filtering of animal poisons. Also, the alimentary canal, which is short in the carnivorous animals, speeds poisons through the body quickly. It is quite long in an inocyte, as it is an vegetarian animal. Note the untruth that you need meat or that you will lose weight if you don't eat meat. Herbivores are much larger than carnivorous animals, and I know that to be true. Greater light. I'm going to come to concentration because I read concentration sometime last week, but now that I'm following an order, I'm going to read concentration later on this evening. I have things that I need to do and prepare for before my grands come. Mad Catter, Greater Light. I kind of eat like a bear. I eat only once a day unless I'm very physically active. Then I need more just to keep my weight sustained. Yep, Mommy Dearest. That was so long ago, that Mommy Dearest movie. And we watched it with my mother when we were children. I don't think we should have watched that early, but we did. Greater Light. I'm going to go ahead and get the house in order. Get your house in order. I'll see you later. Greater Light.
Yeah. You coming? Let's crawl.
Your coming is beautiful in the horizon of heaven. Glory to glory to glory to glory be. Ooh, ooh, living you the beginning of life and the living. Glory to glory to glory, glory me. Oh no, yeah, oh no way. All powerful, all power. Glory be to our God. Ooh, everlasting, redeemer, savior, savior. Glory be to our God. Your coming is beautiful in the horizon of heaven. Glory to glory to glory to glory be. Ooh, ooh, living you the beginning of life.
Greatest light to you, Mad Catter.
Glory to glory to glory, glory me. Holy One, King of Kings, on your throne. Lord of Lords, Lord of Lords, glory be to our God. Ooh,
Prince of Peace, beginning G and then I go in life. The great I am, the great I.
ooh,
Yeah.
ooh.
Be to our God, glory be to our God. Living you the beginning of life and the living.
Glory to glory to glory, glory me.
Yeah. You coming? Let's crawl.
Hurry on.
who have perfected manifested themselves from billions of different galaxies. And they look different depending on where they are, the different colors of their light, the different ways they vibrate. And when and if they're given leave by the Almighty to come down to earth, just like Jesus said in St. John, to come down to earth, he who came down can go back up.
I will go